a little learning curve. So, and we welcome to those of you that are watching on YouTube. And hello, everybody.
Hello.
We had a blast yesterday at our fair, didn't we? That was really neat. So now we are going to do our opening affirmation, and you're going to find that on the left-hand side of your page. I keep the promise that I have made to myself to affirm in this moment that I am abundant, happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. And now we're going to step and sing, I release and I let go. This is our big opportunity to let go of anything that doesn't serve us any longer. How about that? And even Teddy the dog is standing for this. Okay, good. All right, now we have an announcement.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Beautiful day here in California. I want to start with one important announcement that we all can participate in. You all know what's going on in Asheville and Western North Carolina and Tennessee. So if you want to donate to help those that have been affected by Hurricane Helene, we are accepting donations. We'll be forwarding to the donations directly to the three organizations. There's three listed below. And so if you want to donate and write a check, or if you want to give cash, we have our pink envelopes that you can put the money in. And then there's these three organizations, CSL in Asheville, and the money will go directly to that center. Beloved Asheville, 501c3 charitable organization, and Mercy Chefs, Feeding Body and Soul. So if you want it, if you want to give the checks to our church, and then we will forward them to whichever organization that you want to give to. I'll put this will be in Chafee Lunch, and we'll have one out in the bookstore just in case you don't stay for lunch. So that if you do want to give and help them, it's going to take a long time and a lot of work. And there's another hurricane coming, headed for Florida. We are grateful. I know every one of us are grateful that we're living here without that kind of turmoil for now. Okay, so our lunch is to cook. And if you all smelled it in the parking lot when you came in, you know it's going to be good. She's having 2 fajitas, mushroom and bacon, one with goat cheese and one with cheddar cheese, turkey sausage and a green salad, peach and plum crisp with ice cream. Wonderful. You gotta stay till church is over. I know you're running for the door afterwards. And just a side note on, we did have a nice fair yesterday. Thank you all of you who did come and participate in it. It was a lot of fun. And a lot of new people that I hope they'll come back and come for us sometimes. And I think that's probably it for announcements. So
Now we're going to sing I Am So Blessed. And you can sing intro. Let's recognize Cecilia for a second. Thank you. We're going to do an opening for I Am So Blessed, the song. There we go.
Take a moment to think about those blessings. As we do a short invocation, we know that the presence of God is here right now in this very moment, present through each one of us. God expression. And I claim it good. I claim life is good. However it appears, we know that it is God beneath it, underneath it all, that supports us and nurtures us and guides us through any situation in our lives and makes it blessed. And so I am grateful. Grateful for this glorious day, grateful for our church home, our church family, and all who walk through our doors. Grateful for this philosophy that teaches us how to live prosperously, abundantly, healthfully, joyfully, intended to be. And I release these words into that divine law of manifestation, that law that says yes. Yes to our thoughts, yes to our actions, yes. Life is good. And so together we say, and so it is. I'm going to share this morning some Ernest Holmes reading that's from the Science of Mind magazine. Reverend Mary's talk in the family. And Ernest said, out of 365 days, 365 Science of Mind, one spirit incarnated in everyone, an immortal presence forever and expanding everything, causing everything to grow. What difference it would make in our human relations if we tried to sense the meaning of this divine incarnation in all people and adjust our viewpoint to the truth that all are bound together in the unity of God. And as I shared in this morning's meditation, Namaste says, I honor the divine in myself and honor the divine in you. So if we think about that when we meet someone, particularly if they're challenging, we can see the God and step past the personality and connect on that God level that we truly all are one together. And it is one happy, sometimes mostly one happy family. That's our goal, is to have all happy and good. And so it is.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm going to play for you a traditional Russian gypsy song. It's a folk song.
thank you again for your beautiful music. Good morning, everyone. So my talk is all in the family. And I thought I'd hold up this. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. But it says, I have my dad's temper, this attitude. All in the family, right? All in the family. You know, in case you've ever wondered how spiritually developed you are, all you need to do is spend a week with your family. Especially if you haven't seen them in. All of a sudden, you know, things may get a little tense, or you'll be like, oh. I was sharing with our study group in the morning. I remember we're meeting and we're reading the Science of Mind book, and it's really a cool meeting. I mean, we have some good discussions and good ideas. Even Teddy's whining that he didn't get to be there for it. But you know, the thing is that our families out the best and the worst in this sometimes, don't they? Because they know us the best and we're most comfortable with them. And family can be your biological family, or it can be your friends that are like your family. Do you ever notice how sometimes we'll get more snarky with our friends or our family than we will with the average bear that we meet today? And it's like they kind of see our true self and go, well, aren't you spiritual? I love what Thich Nhat Hanh says, and listen to this. Deeply into the palm of your hand, you will see your parents and all generations of your ancestors. All of them are alive in the moment. Each is present in your body. You are the continuation of all of these people. Now, isn't that a cool way to look at it? Thinking, hey, my lifelines and my love lines and all that stuff, that's all the people that brought me to where I am at this point. And of course, we're always standing on the shoulders of those that came before us. And they went through a lot of stuff that because they went through it, we don't have to go through it anymore. I mean, think about when I read about, you know, times back, even in the early 1900s, you think, oh my goodness gracious, I don't know if I would have made it. Thinking about all the things that the women especially went through, and you think, wow, but they went through it, and so that we don't have to. They've already advanced. But with our family, I think it's just because they know us so well. When you're around people that know you so well, sometimes we drop our guard a little bit and we get a little bit, you know, more, we express more of the negative stuff. I don't know if that's happening or not, but whether you know it or not, we're all on a spiritual journey. No matter what place you're at in it, we're all on a spiritual journey, even those people that annoy the out of you. But Thich Nhat Hanh said another thing, and he said, this teaching reminds us that being spiritual is to have a sense I'm a part of all that is. I'm already a part of all that is. I'm already in that one life. And sometimes we forget. And we have these beautiful experiences, and sometimes they're negative interactions, or sometimes they're positive interactions that remind us, oh yeah, that's right. We're all God. I almost forgot for a second. So the first step to reconciling any of your differences that you have with your family or your friends and also, it's especially if they've hurt us, or especially if they've annoyed us, or especially if they've made us angry, is we have to go within. We have to look at ourselves. We have to take ourselves first. Because if we're not listening to what's going on in our own heart and soul, how are we ever going to be able to listen to the other person? And sometimes the other person just wants to be listened to, and that's very important. But you know what? We have to do ourselves first. So when we listen to our own heart, we listen to everything that's going on, all of a sudden we begin to realize, oh, you know what? Again, in the beginning class this morning, that, you know, when people come to our experience, especially the negative ones, we can get all mad and huffy about it, but really, they're there as a gift for us. They're there to remind us, hey, out of sorts with something. Where is it that you need to correct a little bit? Where is it that you need to love yourself more, or listen to yourself more, or be kind to yourself? So the first step in reconciling is listening to yourself. And if you're capable of that, then we're not going to listen to anybody else. It won't be possible to bring peace into your life in their life together, unless you put into your own life. Now, when we listen to ourselves and we care for ourselves and when we check in with ourselves, we feel listened to, we feel validated, we feel understood. You go out then and face the world. Now, we are consciousness. This teaching reminds us that everything is about consciousness. Now, there's the conscious mind and there's the subconscious mind, or the mind below. And that's the mind that receives the impress of all of our thoughts. So when we take something and we take it on to be true about ourselves, we've now impressed our own mind with that idea. And that's how we go out and express in the world. The state of being awake and aware of one's surroundings, and the aware and being mindful, it's being mindful that guess what? God and I, this life that I'm living is God-powered. I am an expression of God. You're an expression of God. You're an expression of God. We're all expressions of God. Now, we may say that some people do their expressing a little better than others. Some people that drive us crazy or push our buttons will go, well, I'm going to love the spots off them. I'm going to love the God in them. I'm going to love the energy. Remember, it was a week ago or a couple weeks ago, I said, remember, we're all lamps. We are all the light. We're all plugged in, but some of us forgot to turn the switch on. And that's what's important. It's just say, and again, you can walk up, oh, here, let me turn your light switch on because I think you forgot to do that this morning. It's just a little reminder, right? So many times we put such a burden on ourselves to do more and be more. Anybody else do that other than me? We think we have to do more, be more, and really the important thing is to realize that you're enough, to realize that you're already sensational, to realize that living less than you really are and thinking less than, it's a disservice to the entire world. So it's a matter of you have to wake up and do mirror work and say, I love you. You have to wake up and say, I am sensational. In fact, please look at a neighbor and say to them, you are sensational. Okay, how about, and then you are the divine expression of God. Oh, did you hear how the volume got a little louder? Okay, now how did that feel? Oh yeah, baloney. I woke up and looked in the mirror this morning and I thought, holy cats, I do have crow's feet. Crows probably live there. But you know what? We've got to stop that dialogue, because what we have to know is say, oh my gosh, I am sensational, you're sensational. And the moment that we do that, what happens? We raise our vibration, right? Because people don't always go on what you say, they go on the energy field that, and we've all been around those people who have that negative energy field, and you're like, yes. All you need to do is walk in the food store and sometimes stand behind somebody that's grousing about the price, whatever, or what, and you'll be in that negative energy. It's like, no, cancel. We don't want to be a part of that. You want to lift your energy and be in that energy vibration that says, guess what? With God, all things are possible. Everything that's supposed to happen is going to happen because I'm allowing it to be. I'm in that field knowing that positive thought. All we have to do is lose the idea we're less than sensational. And what happens when we acknowledge our greatness? Guess what? People feel it. You've been around people that are positive. They're like a catalyst. They're like the lightning rod that brings stuff in. There was a lot of positive energy at the fair yesterday. A lot of good things going on. And it was hot, and we were sweating and all kinds of stuff. But guess what? It was a real fun event. And everybody kind of pulled together, and it was a neat vibe. That's energy that we bring out. Now, remembering that we're not here to play small. Once we stand in our own power and refuse to see anything other than our greatness, it will come into being. But it can only come into being when we, in our conscious mind, make the decision to live that way. It's not haphazard. You know, we don't get into our car and say, take me somewhere. No, we got to turn on the car key. We got to turn on that engine. We've got to put it into gear and say, I'm going. And we make the directive to the world. And God says, oh, serious player there. Is that what you're doing? You're giving me an instruction? I heard you. Now, why is it important? Why is it important that we hold everyone that's in our experience only in kindness, only in goodness, only in love, even when we're mad at them? You have to walk by and I love you. You are the light of God. You are the vision of God. You are the one mind of God. It's like, guess what? Snap out of it as quick as you can, because what happens? Everything shifts. Everything shifts when that happens. Now, in religious science, we learn the mind. There's not your mind, my mind, there's one mind. There's God's mind. There's not, we're all expressions of God, but there's only one mind. And that one mind that is the mind that's receiving our directive, right? So that power is telling us every day, you get to make a decision. You get to make a decision that you're going to be positive, that things are going to work out. I mean, think about the folks in the Helene hurricane. I was in, we missed the news that night of when it had actually hit. So when I heard about it the next day, we were glued to the TV and we were in shock. On the 3 people that I'm suggesting that we donate to, the one group, I heard them on the radio yesterday, and they're called Mercy Chefs. And I was listening to the guy speaking, and he said, you know, they go all over the world. They're located in Virginia, but he said, we go all over the world, and we bring food to whoever needs it. And I thought, what a neat idea. He said they've already served 40,000 meals in the past week, and that was reported yesterday. So it's even more. They go into these areas where he said, you know, we were going by boat and canoe or raft, bringing food, and he said the one yesterday, I have goosebumps when I'm telling it, because he said yesterday when they went to this one family, the rescue guys were coming into a house. It was a house with a family. I don't know how many were in it, but he said they'd not even been helped yet. So they had no water, no food, no electricity, no nothing. These guys were just getting to them because they were way back in the boonies there. And he said the reward of knowing that you're bringing food to the people is just so amazing. And he goes, you realize the humanity of everything and how really you feel this oneness with them. When things happen to us or people in our lives, it's not just happening to that person out there. It's happening with all of us. And so all of us can respond in a loving way when we see something that's happening that's not so great. Or say somebody's got a bad attitude and they don't have the right consciousness that's going to bring about a positive event in their life. Guess what? We can know the truth for them. You know, we're all practitioners, whether we're licensed or not, we're all prayers. We can all pray. And that prayer that we send out is, I'm knowing the truth about you. The truth that we know is the truth that God knows about us, that we're all one. We are this loving, kind, positive, joyous, expressive person that came here to live in our greatness. And we can know for each and every one of us. Now, I'll tell you, somewhere in there we've accepted the idea that we are broken or that we need to be fixed. I don't know, there's areas I go, God, gotta work on that. Uh-oh, gotta work on that. Well, guess what? At the moment when we see ourselves as broken, guess what? Glass half empty kind of thing. It's a glass half empty kind of thing. We have to look at ourselves as, you know what? I'm only improving. Every day I'm under new management now. I'm under new management. And so new things are coming into being that are changing whatever my attitude is that was stopping or blocking me before. So when we think we're not successful enough, we don't have the right, we're not making enough money, we don't live in the right place, whatever it is, we feel it's not good enough sometimes. Anybody else feel like that? And the moment you do, we feel separate, we feel stuck, and we feel stuck in the mire. We don't feel that with the power of God. And what happens? We project that onto everyone that comes into our life, and then guess what? Everybody annoys us. Did you ever have those days? Everybody annoys you. That person cut you off. Computer went down, and then your phone, you can't get the charger, you can't get the iPad. So you're like, uh-oh, wait a second, I gotta start over. I am whole, perfect, and complete. I am blessed in divine guidance in all of these aspects of my life, and everything is unfolding for good for me right now. Boom! Declare it right in that moment. Let it be, because the moment you do that, God says, okay, here I come. But if you're blocking it, it says, okay, I can't come because you blocked me, right? So we want to get in that space, that energy space of knowing our truth, feeling that. At this point, you know, sometimes we're feeling like you need to get fixed, then we dive into books or we go into workshops, and they're all wonderful. They'll all inspire us. But the main thing is to go within. Take a moment each day, dial into, who am I? Why did I come here? What am I here to address? What are these great things that are wanting to happen by means of me? The story of a student, and she spent years and years and years studying religious ideas and studying the mystics and praying and meditating and fasting and all this stuff. And finally, after years and years and years of doing this, she gets this sense of her oneness with Spirit, with this oneness with God, with her oneness with the one mind. And she looks up and she says, Dear God, I'm so happy you arrived. I thought you'd never get here. And God responds, I know. That's what took me so long.
That's interesting.
Think about that, right? There's situations in my life, there's situations in your life, you think, God, there's not a spot of God in here. There's nothing good going on here. Well, guess what? What have you just declared? You just declared your limitation. So in those moments when there is a limitation, when there is a snarky relationship going on, when whatever it is that's going on that you don't like and you're not feeling so hotsy-totsy about, guess what? You say, hey, I forgot for a moment, place. God's coming through in this place, and I don't need to know what to do, but I do need to be in that knowing that God is and I am. All I need to do. I don't need to figure it out. And most of the time, it works out better than with you trying to figure out it all the time. When we talk about spiritual unfoldment, what is it that we're really seeking? I want to spiritually unfold. I want to develop my mind. What is it you're seeking? It's your own divinity that's calling to you, going, hey, realize who you are. You're this great being. Now we have, it's like the yearning, the relationship, for the job, for the success, for the prosperity, for whatever it is. It's just our need to want to express our own God self-divinity, to be that greatness that we came here to be. And guess what? We're already one with it. We're already one with it. But we forgot. And so I'm here to remind you. And all those people that annoy us, they're here to remind us too. All those situations that come up that might be a challenge, it's just here to remind us, hey, you know what? Get on board with your thinking. Get on board with your consciousness. Get on board with knowing that you are in control of your life. It's limitless, and by means of you is operating. There's no need to do or be any other than know the truth of ourselves. So let's see here. In Genesis, they say after God created the world, he took time to realize that it was good. God took time to realize it was good. Teddy even agrees. And guess what? Do you take time in your life to go, look at all these great things that are happening to me. Isn't this all wonderful? Isn't everything working out perfectly? And if it isn't, go, isn't that interesting? I'm going to send some love to that area. I'm going to send some love to that person. I'm going to send some love myself. And you get in the space of knowing, I am this divine, eternal being, and I can create whatever it is that I desire. But unless I make a conscious effort to not let other people's or my own negativity affect me, guess what? You go into a tailspin. Anybody ever go into a tailspin other than me? When you kind of go, oh man, what is happening here? And you go, oh, that's right, it's not happening. I love to go to the Art Institute when I go to Chicago, but I haven't gone in years. And the one year I went, they were having a Georgia O'Keeffe show. And Georgia O'Keeffe paints these enormous flowers. And I loved what she said. She said, I see flowers in the way nobody sees flowers, really. They are so small, and we never take the time. And it takes time to see them, just like it takes time to being a friend. I love that she says, it takes time to see. There was a beautiful artist that was in our booth next to us that was painting animals. She was exquisite. She was just exquisite. She took time to see. And I thought, boy, when we're focusing on painting a still life or painting a pet or even taking a photo of it, we're so focused. How long do we focus on our life? How long do we take a moment to say, gosh, I'm grateful. Gosh, I'm grateful I'm healthy and I'm happy and I'm joyous and I've got inspiration, I've got friends. How often do you do that? It's important to do that every day. It's important to take time to see what's going on in your life. That's what to be mindful. Just see what's happening in your life. There's areas that aren't working, but there's areas that are working. And folk can go, hey, how are they working? And this isn't. Okay, let's get it together here. We can change our world when we choose to see a higher road, when we love and accept ourselves, when we choose to acknowledge our good and bless it, and when we choose to see beyond the appearances and say, you know what, that's only something trying to be something, and it's nothing trying to be something. Go, whatever it is that's going on, that's just nothing trying to be something, and I'm not giving any energy. I love this quote. It's by the famous author Anonymous. The same boiling water that softens a potato hardens an egg. Did you ever think about that? The same boiling water that softens a potato hardens an egg. And it's not about what you're, it's about what you're made of, not your circumstances. And that's what that's talking about. Your circumstances come and go, but it's who you are that you bring to the table that creates the experience that you have. The main thing to remember is that many times when we have a challenge or a fear or something that's troubling us, sometimes the thing to do is to just let it go. It's hard to do though, because we want to be right. We want to let that person know that they were wrong, let that situation know that they were wrong. Especially we've got a lot of crazy politics going on now, and there's a lot of potential fighting going on. You know what? We want to be right. So guess what? Sometimes it's important to just let it go. Just see the goodness within inside of you. See that all is working out perfectly. Know that truth. Be that vehicle by which that divine mind operates through you. How about if you say with me right now, I am thankful, for all of life, and I encircle all things and all people with love. The mind that I use is the mind of God. And remember that, right here, any moment, you can just say, the mind I use is the mind of God. Everything is working out perfectly. And some people may go, Pollyanna, you go right ahead and think like that. But there's a lot of garbage going on in the world. Things happening. Yeah, there are. Yeah, there are. But guess what? We can always see the good in it. There's always a gift in it. And when we recognize the gift and we move from that spot, things open up. Ordinary people believe only in the possible. Extraordinary people believe not only in the possible or the probable, but the impossible as well. Remember, the breakdown of impossible is I'm possible. Think of that. I'm possible. And by visualizing the I'm possible, it actually becomes a reality. It can't become a reality until we see it. Remember, we always create twice, once with a thought and then in form. So the idea is know that truth about yourself. You're not here to heal what's broken. You're here to reveal what's whole. You're here to reveal what's whole, already there. We have to clean out all that other stuff that isn't working. Remember, you've arrived. There's nothing you need to do. You don't need to become more than other than the expression of your divine self. We're all eternal spirit unfolding. And now we just get to go out and make it a fabulous day. And so it is.
Thank you.
And now Cecilia is going to serenade us again.
And as usual, for my second piece, I'd like to invite you to your favorite place, and you can close your eyes. And let's thank God for our blessings and more blessings to come, and especially for peace in the whole world.
Okay, and now we have an offertory affirmation, and I invite the ushers to pass the offerings. And our affirmation is, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. It is evident conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of the spiritual center, knowing that it will be multiplied abundantly. And so it is. And so we thank you for your giving, and we're knowing and seeing these seats filled. Even Teddy, he's agreeing with that. And we're knowing that we see this church flourishing and thriving, and more people are coming and coming, and we are so thankful that you're here today and for your generous donations. And so our affirmation, let's have a prayer and know. No, we're gonna, okay. No, that's good, that's good. Oh, and so it is. We're gonna sing, and so it is. Yes. Before we all share our blessing affirmation, do a little prayer treatment, and let's know together that there is one power, there is one presence, there is one divine spirit in this world, and I know as God, that creative intelligence, that divine mind that lives, moves, and has its being as me. I am that the wisdom of God is my wisdom, and the joy and the peace and the excitement and the vitalization of all God's ideas are mine. And I am aware that I am the expression of God right here and now, and I know all good things unfolding. I let what might ever be stopping or blocking peace into the ethers as I let go and let God be a means of me. I accept this as my truth. I know this to be true. And as I state these words, it states them in mind which is in motion right now, bringing about my great, abundant, joyous world. And let it be so, and we say together, and so it is. And we'll read our blessing affirmation together. I take the intention to daily speak the truth to my inner soul, affirming that I am wonderful, brilliant, and magnificent, one with the great cause of life, truth, power, and action. I am open and receptive to the endless possibilities. Life is good and very good. And now we're going to have our peace song.